The following story is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to real people, places, or situations is purely coincidental. Unless your cousin Dave actually did try to rob a bank with a kazoo, in which case, wow. These tales are meant for entertainment only. Please do not reenact, recreate, or report them to your local authorities. No animals, egos, or reputations were harmed in the making of this episode, we think. Sit back, relax, and remember, if it sounds too crazy to be true, that's exactly the point.
Have you ever heard of a robbery where the thieves accidentally made the house better? No? Well, sit down, Vinny. I got a story for you. And I swear on my last parole hearing, every word I'm about to tell you is true. It started on a Monday. Always a Monday. You know how Mondays are. Cursed, unlucky, full of wrong turns and expired coffee. Jimmy, the elbow, had a lead on an old Victorian house over on Sycamore Street. Said it looked abandoned, no lights, no movement, big front porch, lots of shadows, and most importantly, rich neighborhood. Antiques just sitting in there, Jimmy said, all excited like a raccoon with a bag of chips. Gold knobs, velvet curtains, maybe even a piano. Nobody home, easy in, easy out. Now look, I should have known better. Anything that sounds easy with Jimmy ends up with one of us stuck in a trash can or chased by a goose. But I needed the cash. My car was leaking more than a politician during a scandal. So it's me, Jimmy, and Rico, the guy with the silent laugh. I don't mean quiet, I mean silent. He shakes like he's being electrocuted when something's funny, but you'll never hear a sound. It's disturbing if you don't know him, hilarious if you do. Anyway, we wait till just past midnight. Jimmy picks the lock like he's opening a soda can. And we're in. The house is dark, quiet. Smells like cinnamon and wood polish. That should have been the first red flag. We split up like idiots, like classic horror movie move. I head for the kitchen, Rico checks the living room. Jimmy disappears upstairs like he owns the place. The kitchen is spotless, not a dish out of place. There's a bowl of fruit on the counter. It's a real fruit, Vinny. Apples, pears, one of those tiny bananas. Who even buys those? Rich people, that's who. I grab a silver tray and a set of crystal salt shakers. Fancy, classy, stuff you can fence if you know a guy who doesn't ask questions. And that's when I hear it, a ding, like an oven timer. I turn around and the oven light is on. The oven is on. And inside, a tray of chocolate chip cookies, half baked. The timer says 4 minutes left. Now you tell me, Vinny, what kind of abandoned house has fresh cookies in the oven? So I do what anyone in my position would do. I shut the oven off and take the tray out. I'm not gonna let those go to waste. That's just disrespectful. I walk into the dining room and find Rico. He's staring at a jigsaw puzzle halfway done on a big wooden table. There's a glass of milk next to it, still cold. Condensation on the side. I say, Rico, you seeing what I'm seeing? He nods, silent, laughing, his whole face twitching, and then Jimmy comes down the stairs holding a pillow shaped like a corgi. He says, guys, I think we might have messed up. No kidding, Craig, and turns out the house isn't abandoned. It's just weirdly quiet and cozy, too cozy, like a trap set by a grandmother with passive-aggressive tendencies. We should have left then. Any smart crew would have bailed, but no. Jimmy says we can't go back empty-handed, and Rico finds a decorative vase he swears is worth $500. So we grab a few things, careful, quiet, still trying to be professionals, and then Rico trips over a Roomba. You ever hear a Roomba scream, Vinny? It doesn't scream exactly, it just starts spinning in circles, bumping into everything. And this one talks, says, please move, cleaning mode activated. It's midnight, we're frozen. Jimmy drops the corgi pillow. Rico kicks the Roomba, and it flies into a wall. A painting crashes to the ground. Alarm bells, number lights, number instead, and I swear on my mother's recipe for meatballs. A soft voice from a speaker in the ceiling says, if you're here to rob me, please do it quietly, the cat is sleeping. We all just stare at each other. Now it's not fear in our eyes, it's confusion. Existential confusion, Jimmy whispers. Is this some kind of psychological experiment? Rico's shaking, his silent laugh has evolved into a full-body tremor. And me? I'm done. I put the salt shakers back on the shelf. I wipe the tray with my sleeve and put it back in the kitchen. That's when I see the note. It's on the fridge, held up by a magnet shaped like a hedgehog. The note says, if you're going to steal anything, please clean up after yourselves. Help yourself to the cookies, that's it. No signature, just vibes. At this point, we're not robbing the house is robbing us. Like, of our dignity, our confidence, our entire criminal identities. We end up sitting in the living room, each of us with a cookie and a glass of milk, like three confused kids at a sleepover. Jimmy says, like, what if we left something instead? Like a thank you gift. Rico nods. He pulls a tiny potted succulent out of his backpack. Says he brought it for his aunt but forgot to drop it off. So he puts it on the mantle next to a framed photo of a cat wearing sunglasses. I leave a $10 bill under the vase we almost took. Jimmy folds a paper crane and writes, "Sorry for the intrusion" on his wing. And just like that, we become the world's first reverse robbers. We clean the coffee table. We tighten a loose doorknob. Jimmy sweeps the front porch. Before we leave, Rico vacuums. Vacuums, Vinny. I'm not proud, but it happened. As we step out, the porch light blinks twice. We stand there in the moonlight, pockets empty, hearts confused. And then the door clicks shut behind us. Locked. End of story? Not even close. Next morning, my phone buzzes at 6:17 a.m. I never get calls before 10 unless someone's dead or just got out of jail. It's Jimmy. He's whispering like he's in a church. "Frankie, turn on channel 9. So I do. And there it is, local news. Bright, cheery morning anchor. Behind her, a photo of the very same Victorian house we hit. Headline, mysterious reverse robbers strike local home. Cookies gone, furniture dusted. I nearly choke on my coffee. The homeowner, a retired librarian named Ms. Beverly Adkins, gave an interview. She's 78, hair like a silver cloud, speaks like she's narrating a documentary. They came in through the front door, bless their hearts. My Roomba tried to warn them, but I suppose she was in sleep mode. They didn't steal a thing, left a plant, cleaned my piano bench, and someone tightened the back door hinges. I've been meaning to do that for years. She smiles, sips her tea, then she says dead serious, so if they'd like to come back and fix the porch swing, I'd be very grateful. Jimmy's losing it on the phone. We're famous, Frankie. The media loves us. We committed a crime, Jimmy. We committed a courtesy. Rico sends a photo to the group chat. It's a screen grab of Miss Adkins with a caption, "Most polite intruders I've ever not met." He adds a heart emoji. That same day it goes viral. Not just local, national. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. Everyone's talking about the reverse robbery. Hashtags trend. Give back gang. Cheer courtesy crooks. Cheer cookies not crime. Someone starts selling mugs with our quote, "Please clean up after yourselves. Help yourself to the cookies." Like we should have laid low, disappeared, hid in the shadows like any good failed criminals. But no, Jimmy sees opportunity. This could be our thing, he says, like a brand. We become modern day Robin Hoods, except instead of stealing from the rich, we just leave plants, maybe reorganize bookshelves. Rico nods solemnly. He's already crocheting a hat with a little raccoon tail on the back. I try to stay out of it. I do stay out of it. For 3 days. Then another house appears on the news. Same deal. Cookies eaten, bed made, broken lamp glued back together. The homeowner found a sticky note that said, "You're doing great. We see you." It wasn't us, but it sure looked like it was. Now there are copycats. People breaking into homes to do chores. Someone polished silverware in Toledo. Another guy pressure washed a stranger's driveway in Des Moines. Law enforcement is baffled. Sheriff Hodges goes on camera saying, technically they're trespassing. Emotionally, it's complicated. He looks like a man questioning his career choices. Then Ms. Adkins writes an open letter online. Starts with, "To my polite bandits, wherever you are." She invites us to dinner. She says the cookies were for her granddaughter who never showed up, but she's glad someone enjoyed them. She signs it. "You're welcome here anytime, just not next time." Jimmy wants to go. "You want to break into a house again?" "No," he says. I want to be invited." He buys flowers. Rico brings a lasagna. I bring wine, and the good kind too, not the gas station stuff. We knock. She answers. "About time," she says, smiling. The dinner is a magical, because she tells us stories from her days as a librarian. We fix the porch swing. Rico knits her a tea cozy shaped like a turtle. We leave with full stomachs and confusing emotions. That night, I lie awake wondering, what even are we anymore? We started as idiots with lockpicks, and now we're local legends. 2 weeks later, we get a letter in a wax-sealed envelope. It reads, "We've been watching your work with interest. There's a summer home in Vermont that could use your touch. No valuables, just dust. Consider it a challenge. The Society of Gentle Criminals. I think it's a prank. Jimmy thinks it's a job offer. Rico's already packing socks. I don't know, Vinny. I really don't. I guess sometimes life turns you sideways. 1 minute you're trying to fence a porcelain rooster. The next you're famous for fluffing throw pillows and making strangers feel appreciated. Was it a crime? Technically, yes. Do I regret it? Honestly, not even a little. In fact, we're planning a visit to a lonely mansion next Friday. Big windows, dusty chandeliers, no cameras, and rumor has it, there's banana bread cooling on the counter. You in?